Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman on midweekpolitics.com. This is Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.
Hey, welcome to the show. I'm David Pakman. It's the week of February 10th, 2010. A lot going on today's show, not the least of which, Lewis, is our new station, WMNF in Tampa, Florida. We're thrilled to be on. We're actually on in HD there. It sounds almost like it's going to be, the show will be worse if people can clearly hear what we're saying, right? It can't possibly be better with a clear signal.
Right. HD might lower our overall production quality.
I think it might, but we're thrilled to be on. It's our first Florida station. We were on in Sarasota briefly years ago. I guess they didn't like the show. We're no longer on there, but Tampa, this is our real first Florida affiliate, and I think the weather there is probably a lot better than here, even though everything in the area has been closed because of these. It's called Snowmageddon 2010 and 2010 blizzard, even though we have like a quarter inch of snow, literally, and I hope it won't prevent anybody from getting to the studio today that needs to get here, and we know there's a long list of people that need to be here.
We've got a good guest today.
Check out midweekpolitics.com. You can email us, radio@midweekpolitics.com. A lot of emails lately about a lot of different stuff. Number one, we talked about Tim Tebow and the controversial pro-abortion Super Bowl ad. We'll talk about this in more detail in a little bit.
You mean pro-life?
What did I say? Oh, right. I said pro-abortion.
Yeah.
Of course, there's no such thing as pro-abortion. There's only pro-choice and anti-abortion. Well, we suggested that Tim Tebow is effectively some kind of a pawn for Focus on the Family and for the anti-abortion movement. And somebody sent an email, or this might have been a YouTube comment, Tebow's a pawn. It's not like they made him do the ad. He chose to. If you know anything about Christianity, it's that as a Christian, you're supposed to spread God's message to everyone you meet. Let him do what he wants. It's his life. I'm sure he really doesn't care what anyone else thinks as long as God is happy with what he's doing. Eternal life in heaven is more important than temporary life on earth. So this is somebody that we would just not be able to see eye to eye with, right? I mean, they clearly are interpreting what they think is a literal interpretation of the Bible. They believe that opposing women's rights and opposing access to the safe kinds of abortions that would save 70,000 women a year is somehow what, quote, God, or in this particular case, Jesus, wants them to do. I just disagree, and I don't think decisions should be made based on what Jesus Christ, whether you do or don't believe he was born to a woman who had never had sex. I personally, that's hard for me to believe. Even if you do believe that, I don't know that you want to be making decisions about 70,000 women's lives based on what you think maybe is this interpretation of this document. Do you agree, Lewis?
I agree, but I think there's people out there who make all their decisions based on this document and what Jesus might do.
Okay, another email. This is just somebody clearly doesn't like us. We're clearly just bad people. Here's the email. I just wanted to let you know that I was scanning through the radio while driving and came across your show. I had first found it interesting for about 10 minutes. I then had to smile and know liberal drabble like yours on radio and TV is going the way of the dodo, like Air America and other shows like yours. Period. Sentence fragment. I'm reading this as it was sent to me. I know it's not English or good English or anything like that. Your constant barrage against anyone against the liberal view is laughable. Now, we've actually been really critical of Barack Obama, have we not, Lewis? In fact, we've been criticized by some stations for being too anti-Obama over the last couple of months. So to say that we are only subscribing to liberal views is just false. And then he brings you up. I have to give your co-host or sidekick some credit. Even though you tried to bring him into your opinion, he was still a little hesitant to sound as ridiculous as you. Your show won't be on much longer as your idiotic babbling is losing its audience. Thank God. By the way, your take on the Tebow ad is stupid. Where are you there? I think he means, were you there? Did you talk to the doctor that spoke to them? Also, the ad isn't about being pro-life or pro-choice. It basically means if I would have aborted my son, the wonderful things he has done and will do never would have happened. I'm not talking football either. I look forward to monitoring your show until it's canceled, not listening, just turning it on for a couple seconds till I get the good news. You might wang to rethink your format, maybe a factual account. And I know you think Wang, capitalized, is actually a last name, an Asian last name. For whatever reason, it says you might wang to rethink your format. Interesting email. Of course, completely wrong. Our show, the only people who could take the show off the air are us because we syndicate our own show. Sure, stations could choose not to air it, but the only people who could cancel the show, Lewis, would be me or maybe you if you were given that much control, which I would be scared to do. So I don't know what this guy's talking about.
Well, at least we're getting emails and we're getting people's opinions, and it's constructive.
You're absolutely right. This episode of Midweek Politics has been made possible in part by Just Coffee Cooperative, fair trade coffee from around the world roasted daily at justcoffee.coop.